Let me introduce you, everybody, to the KenyaMaraTriangleSafariLive pride. This is one of the females, a youngster. We think she's just lost her cubs, and they're sitting here just as the sun goes down over the Olololo escarpment. To her right-hand side, one of the males, a Marsh coalition. Now, many of you will have heard of the Marsh pride, of course, having watched and been fascinated by the Big Cat Diaries. Well, these males come from that pride. And this female, we think, has lost her cubs, like I say. The three males, this male and his two brothers, have just come into this area. They've taken over. They've killed at least 5 cubs. There might be 2 left. We're not sure at this stage. But this female seems to be in anestrus. Now, we saw that with the Nkuhumas when the Birminghams took over. And what happens is, of course, they go into a false stage of estrus. When they lose their cubs, they urinate and they solidify a bond with the new males by mating with them. And I think that's what's going on here. We watched them courting yesterday evening, and you could very clearly see still she's got 2 swollen teeth. So I think she's very obviously lost cubs very recently. So that's the first of the KenyaMaraTriangleSafariLive pride to introduce you to, and the first, of course, of the Marsh coalition. Now, the Marsh coalition of males is 3, like I say. The other 2, I think, are in the drainage line just below us here. I've missed her yawn every single time. Graham is going to be so cross with me. And you can see, here we go, very interesting stuff going on. Now, look at his mane. He's older than our Birmingham boys. I think he's probably about 7, this chap. He's not a young lion. He's got a very full mane. Why he's just taken over this area, we're not sure. Why not earlier? Where were they before this? And of course, this is the domain of the famous Scarface male lion. This is just beautiful, isn't it? Look at that, everybody. The light's just gone, but that's okay. Now we get into the hunt. We think, well, they may lie down for the whole night, but they might do a little bit of hunting too. He's exhausted. Now, these are the 2 we saw hunting today, everyone. We saw an amazing thing. This lioness killed that baby orphan wildebeest. Nasty lady. But she has to eat. And you can see they're in pristine condition. Now, if you want to learn how to identify this male lion, the best way to do it, of course, is to see that he has no pom-pom at all on the back of his tail. Watch as he flicks it to and fro, you will see. There we go. You see, it looks kind of like a snake almost without its pom-pom. So we'll call him No Pom-Pom. No, we don't have to call him that. Now, many of these lions, of course, do not have names. In fact, they don't have names at all. And we know at SafariLive that in order to identify our special animals, we quite like to name them every so often. So if you would like to come up with some names, we can do that. She's got a spotty belly, so I'm going to suggest we call her Spotty Belly. I think we should perhaps call him something like a snake tail. It sounds very ominous indeed. Perhaps better than No Pom-Pom. What do you think, Chandra?
Not too bad.
And you can see also how golden she is. She really is the most gorgeous colour. Now, this grass, everyone, 3 days ago was that sort of, it wasn't brown, but it was very much straw-coloured rather than this green. And it's a little bit of rain that they've had here. I'm not sure how much it is exactly, but that's turned everything green. It's so exciting to introduce you to a new group of characters, and I hope during the course of the next little while we will be able to introduce you to the rest of this pride. Certainly we should be able to get the rest of the Marsh coalition of males. They are down just in this sort of drainage stream not too far from here, and maybe the other 5 lionesses. We have met only 4 of the lionesses so far. They were off hunting yesterday evening, and she kind of cut off from them and went off on her own with him. And it was so interesting to see, because it's exactly what happened when the Birminghams took over in the Sabi Sand. One of the lionesses, and I think it was Amber Eyes initially, extracted from the rest of the pride. They didn't have cubs at the time, but of course the Birminghams had killed many lionesses, and so they were trying to solidify this bond. They were trying to reduce the conflict between the resident males and the females, and that's exactly what's happened here. Just stunning stuff. All right, Genre, I'm going to suggest that we ooze forward slightly and see if we can't look down into this drainage and just see